You're listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt, where we talk about hunting, shooting, fishing, camping, and everything else that the great outdoors has to offer. Let's get into it. Hey listeners, this episode we are in the car, on the road, on the way to a hunt, and we are recapping with Dan, who's previously been on the podcast. We hear about his 2024 rut, what's happened already for the 2025 rut, and then at the end of that one, we jump out and we obviously hunted, and then you're going to hear all about the hunt, and yes, it was successful, and we'll talk about that and unpack that at the end. I hope you enjoy. Next week is episode 100, so stay tuned. We are driving down to a property, Dan, because, oh man, all right. It has been a full 12 months since we originally said we were going to record your first 2 bucks, and I want to hear the story on them while we drive down here, and then we'll get into what happened yesterday.
I'll have to correct you a bit there, Matty boy. It was a buck and a doe, but nevertheless, it was 2. So
2 in the same day.
Yeah, it was good.
That's all right. What modesty.
But we got here, finally.
Yes.
Finally get a bit of time driving down south, so pretty pumped about today, but yeah, I think it's a good time to recap on last year. So where to begin?
Well, you got access to this property. You've been down here getting the lay of the land.
Yep.
And you went, this was the first rut. This is 2024.
Yep.
For you chasing them down here. Take us through the morning.
So thinking back, like it was only probably 3 months before the actual rut that I got access to that property. So that lead up in the few months, just trying to learn the lay of the land, trying to find out where the girls were, everything like that. But I know we were talking a lot before that, like going a bit back and forth, trying to time when that actual rut will start on that property. And so probably a couple of weeks before the start of April, like I was trying to get a bit of feedback from you from down south, because this property's out towards Golden, to try to find out when like the boys down there were starting to croak, and tried to work out a rough weekend and headed down there. And pretty exciting times to go out on a property, and like first thing you hear is when you pull the car up is the boys croaking, right? So it's a pretty incredible experience. So yeah, park the car up, and the girls on this property, they're always in that front paddock, that you've seen, right?
Yep.
So I know there was a neighbouring property that holds the boys that I didn't have access to at the time. So the girls seemed to sit in that one paddock. There was probably that morning in that paddock, I reckon there was a good 20 odd girls in that paddock. So I had to commando crawl into that paddock. Like you've seen it before. It's there's not much cover.
No.
Super open, right? So get there first thing in the morning, right on sunrise. The wind wasn't in my favour, that's for sure. So I had to crawl down, basically commando crawl down that fence line into that corner of that back paddock where those girls were. So because the wind wasn't in my favour, like as I was getting closer and closer, like one by one, the girls were starting to jump the paddock to the point where we started with 20, commando crawling halfway across that paddock. I reckon I was down to about 10. And when I was up to about 40 metres from them, like I'm literally in an open paddock, like, and you've got like the fence line, right? So no cover at all. Set up the bipod. By the time I set up the bipod on the rifle, I reckon another 5 jumped the fence. So I was down to the last 5. So, but just as I set up the bipod, like the girls actually come bolting towards me. So one of the girls had that nice coat we were talking about before, that Mental coat. Yeah. Beautiful, like absolutely beautiful girl. Like come running towards me, and actually shot her while she was running at about 20 metres. So perfect shot, like right behind the shoulder. She dropped straight there. So, but that was a pretty incredible moment, because that was actually my first deer. So I know we'd seen a lot of deer before that, but yeah, that was the first deer I've actually shot. So it was a pretty exciting morning. And carried her out. She wasn't too big, so carried her out towards where the car was. And I thought, look, it's going to be a good opportunity. Like butchered her up, and I thought it'd be a really good opportunity maybe just to walk down to the back paddocks where I showed you before where both properties end. And I thought, look, if there's... Because the boys had stopped croaking at that point, I think I scared them off and I took the shot at the girls because I didn't actually see the boys that morning. So I thought I'd maybe make one last walk right to the rear of the property before I'd head off for that morning. But I was happy I had a deer down, so had some meat for the esky, but took a walk down to the back paddock, got right up into the back corner of those paddocks, and right in the distance I heard the faintest of croaks. And I said, look, I was pretty tired by that time in the morning, butchered everything, we're carrying things out. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here for a bit, just give it a crack. Like, where I heard the croaking, it was in a neighbouring paddock. So I'm like, I might just rattle, see if I can come over and, like, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get him to jump over my side of the fence. So sat there for a while, rattling away. The croaking just stopped after about 5 minutes. And, like, it just got further and further away, like fainter and fainter in the distance. So kind of gave up at that point and kind of moved back a little bit. And then out through the corner of my eyes, I seen a young buck out of nowhere, like, jump into the property I can shoot on. Thankfully, like, it just wasn't expecting it. Like, I was ready to go. Like, I've stopped rattling, about to stand up, and literally corner of my eye, just see this brown figure, jumps over the fence, starts walking towards me. At that point, I'm panicking because it was that close. I reckon I shot this thing at about 10 metres. But it was a front-on shot. Like, it just all happened so fast, But my front-on shot, like, I don't think I'd take a front-on shot again, but, like, he dropped straight on the spot. Like, shot him straight in the neck, he dropped. And, like, at that point, I was just over the moon. Like, but, like, within 30 minutes of each other. So, like, I was messaging you after that.
Yeah.
Dropping that doe with such excitement, and then, like, literally 30 minutes later, you get another message from me. And I'll never forget your reply. The reply was, I hope you got nothing on for the rest of the day.
I was super stoked for you with that. I think I was at work, and I was super stoked that you got that doe. And I do remember now it was a doe.
Yeah.
And I was, really happy. I think I even messaged the wife and said, yes, Stan got one. That's so good. And then half an hour later when you messaged me and you got a buck, I was more ecstatic. Just like, I was almost jumping up and down going, hell yeah. Like, not only your first deer, you've got two at the same time, like within 30 minutes. That's unreal. What a way to open the account. Happy days.
Oh, it's incredible though. But that boy, he was, if I took a stab, maybe 3 or 4 years old, but he was just a beautiful fellow buck. So, just so exciting. Like, It's just incredible. Like, yeah, to go from nothing to get, 2 down within 30 minutes of each other, and to experience that too, to experience, the boys croaking and to be able to rattle in a boy, it was just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It's unreal, eh? It's just such a great time. Just the excitement around the noises going on, and you just get so pumped up for it. And I do have to let everybody know, I mean, you don't wear camo. So
and I don't think I will, just to prove a point of this. Yeah.
We keep joking about it because, as I said, we're driving down to have an arvo hunt, and I'm in camo and you're in black shorts.
I got on my black Puma shorts. No, in fairness, I got a green Reebok
you find
shirt on, right?
Yeah, I think the last time we went, you wore blue. I think whether the no-no at the deer world, and you just rock up in it. And I think you pegged a deer as well. Because the last time you took me to this property and you pegged a boy.
Yeah, so that was roughly November.
That was November. Jeez, it was hot.
But that was the first time you've been out to this property,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
So, same kind of thing. Like, so we walked the back paddocks, and that back paddock was where I got that fallow buck from, like, last rut. And like at that, like, we were walking the property all morning, and we were kind of at the point where we thought we weren't going to see any deer, because that was the first one we did see that lone boy. But I had no camo on at all that time.
No,
I was just like, it was all black. I think I was wearing all black that morning, right?
Okay.
And like you caught him in the binos, like right in those far paddocks, and we decided we'd stalk up, and you let me stalk in on that one. But I think that would have been quite the sight from where you were standing, literally seeing a black blob crawling up the side of that damn wall. Eh?
I tell you what, you didn't need camo for that one because he was in the perfect spot. He just dropped down into the gully. I think we went to the dam on purpose to see if anything was there having a drink because it was so hot. And he literally was walking into the dam, dropped down into sort of the basin, and you were able to creep up to the hill and peek over. And thank God, because you were covered by the terrain, because you stood out. It's like greeny yellow grass everywhere, and you're just black.
Literally all black,
it was so funny. And I've seen you crawl over and look up, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not there, because you sort of looked over, and then next minute you've just jumped up, and I've just heard the shot ring out and seen him sort of pop out the other side and drop, which was good. So
I think the terrain was in my favour for that.
The terrain was, yeah. It's but hey, that was a win.
I'm just going to continue to prove you wrong with this.
Do it.
Camo or no camo, right?
It's working.
Something's working.
It's working. So, and remember that was the fox morning.
Yeah, when we got barked by the fox. It was like a little bark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like so. I was whistling in using the Fox 40. I think it's Fox 40, and whistling him in, and he came from not on the property where we could shoot, the neighbouring property. Came up, he snuck up to the side. We didn't even really see him there until he barked at us.
But that wasn't the one we were trying to whistle in either.
No,
we weren't focused on that one. One just come jetting up from the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, no, he was further away, and so he popped up to the side, barked at us, and took off.
Yeah, but he was pretty close when he came up and barked. I reckon he was 15 metres or something.
Yeah, he was real close.
Done a little growl and a bark, and he was off. Yeah.
And then we went chasing another one just before we got your deer.
Yeah.
We were chasing another one, and I'd brought him in from about 150, I reckon, probably. He was coming in. I was wanting him to get to the 100, and we'd set the tripod up, waiting for him to get into the right spot. And the wind turned. It was behind us, and it was like someone prodded him. As soon as that wind hit him, he just he flipped almost to go back the other way at 100 miles an hour and just went. Wind's so key, eh? You see it so much more. Like, it just happens all the time. You sit there and go, it's crazy.
Well, I've never actually tried to whistle in foxes before. Like, I know a lot of people do it, but just never really had the opportunity on the blocks I've been on, right? They're just, like, they're probably foxes there. I've just never seen them. So that's the first time I've seen. Like, I know we did a bit of whistling the other time, like down south at the other block around here, but it was pretty interesting to see them bolt up like that, eh?
It's fun,
I just can't believe how quick they come in, and but how quick they wind you too, right?
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting what you were doing, like standing in front of the tree with the tripod and the rifle set up, standing right in front of the tree rather than in the scrub or behind a tree.
Well, when they're coming into you're sort of masked by that tree that's behind you. I find that works quite well. Good fun.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah,
and then yesterday. Oh, tell me about yesterday. I again get the message. You tried to FaceTime me. I was wrestling with my kids, I think, at the time, so I missed out. But talk us through yesterday?
Well, I feel it's been a long week, right? So, remember we were talking last year, and when I dropped that younger buck, you said to me, mark these dates in your calendar, because this is when the rut will be, like every year, right, for this property. So, mark the dates, and had to move mountains to get the time off work and try to shuffle things around with family. But last week, headed out to this property on the Sunday morning just do a bit of a scout to see if the boys were actually croaking. So I got out here last week, had a bit of a poke around, parked up the car, and where I normally see the girls in that front paddock, didn't see any girls at all in that front paddock. And in that other neighbouring block, I did hear one really faint croak first thing in the morning, but other than that, it was pretty quiet on the block, not much activity. And walked down to the back paddocks where I shot that fallow buck last year to try my luck, kind of in the same spot. Thought I'd do a bit of a rattle, and when I got into those back paddocks, I did see 3 girls, 3 does. At that point, they jumped the fence, so the girls jumped the fence in the block I couldn't shoot at, and just watched them run up the hill gracefully, as always. And I'm like, if there's 3 girls here, the boys got to be around, right? So literally jumped in the bushes, like got some cover, and I reckon like 10 seconds later, a beautiful boy. He was in the blocks that I can shoot in. Like he popped out of nowhere. Nice head on him. Beautiful coat. He had that metal coat on him. And not long after, like I reckon 10 seconds after, he jumped the fence before I even got to get the rifle set up or anything like that. And he jumped over the fence. And I thought I'd just have a bit of a rattle to see if I can get him back over. And they were responding to the rattle. Like he was coming in. Like he was pretty curious, walking down the hill. And, couldn't get him to jump the fence, and I reckon I was rattling him for like 5 minutes or so, and then he just jetted off. But literally as soon as he jetted off, I looked to the left of me, and there was a young spiker coming in too, like with a really dark coat. Tried to rattle him in as well, like nothing. Like he was coming in slowly. He was pretty curious, but yeah, just couldn't get him to come over the fence. So it's a story of my life. They're always on the other side of the fence. So, but I reckon I had both within 15 metres, but like. Just wrong side of the fence as always. A bit disappointed, and went into one of the larger paddocks on the property to have a bit of a poke around, and I did see a fox. It was pretty much first light, and saw a fox jumping around, like having a bit of play, having the time of his life, and he pulled up at a tree, and I managed to take the fox, which was a win. So I know I've joked around with you a lot about foxes are my curse. Like I've definitely hit a couple, but I've never managed to find them. So managed to shoot this fox. He was a decent sized fox too. So he dropped on the spot, took the tail home. It was a good win, and the property owner was very happy. So came back to the house to catch up with the property owner and had some good news for him. So that was last week. So that was Sunday last week. So took Friday off work this week to head back down. A bit of poke around. Tried to get there first thing on first light, and as soon as I pulled the car up this time, like it was just echoing. Like all you could hear was croaking. Like specifically in that like really scrubby block I was talking about. So got there first thing in the morning, had a bit of a look around, and did see the boys, but they were pretty flightish. Like they were going back and forth into the other properties I couldn't shoot in, so didn't get a chance that morning. So put in a lot of miles and got no rewards. Decided I'd come straight back in the next morning. Same thing. I mean, the first light, same thing, pulled up the car, boys are croaking, it's going off on the block, right? And I was sneaking up into that open paddock I was talking about where the girls normally are. Didn't see many girls. There was maybe 2 girls, I reckon. 2 girls, and there was a young spiker like pacing up and down the paddock. And out of nowhere, I saw a beautiful, I would say he's a pretty mature buck, like nice head on him. The metal coat, like just the perfect example of a mature buck. Jumped the fence into that paddock, and I ran up the fence line, try to get set up with the bipod, got the rifle set up, everything like that. And I'm like, if this is going to be the time, this is going to be it, right? He was on the right side of the fence this time, so got all set up, got the antlers out, ready to rattle, and I didn't tell you this, I think. Out of nowhere, ready, like literally set up with the bipod, rifle set up, ready to rock and roll. He's probably 60 metres away at best, right? He's just pacing up and down, croaking away, carrying on, and just about to start rattling, and then all of a sudden you see the property owner running down in what looks to be pyjamas with his gun, running towards that front paddock with the shits, because he can't sleep because of all the croaking. So he's literally come running up to us where I was set up with the bipod. He's spooked all the deer. They've gone running. And he's just carrying on swearing, and I'm just waving, like, mate. He's like, what? He's like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I told you I was coming here. He's like, oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. He's like, I've just ruined your hunt, haven't I? I'm like, yeah. And then you just see it, like that buck, he just bolted down the other part of the property. So I had no chance of getting him. So I was just devastated. So I thought I'd start to walk the back paddocks again. So I walked the back paddocks, didn't see much activity and stuff like that. And I thought I'd try that really scrubby block, the one we're talking about. Like it was pretty late in the morning by that time. I reckon it was about 8-ish by then. So like it was a lot quieter. You could tell a lot of the guys had moved on because those croaks were getting a lot fainter. And got into that front paddock, had a bit of a look around, and you could hear there was one boy though, one boy croaking like really heavy, like very deep croak, right? So pretty thick bush in that paddock. So I started creeping up, and the grass there, it's pretty unkept, that block, but the grass is probably 1.5 meters high in some parts. So like walking in, you could hear the croaking, and up by a big tree, all you could see was this massive set of antlers like pacing up and down, and you could see he's putting his head up, he's croaking, carrying on, and started to sneak up to him to try and get closer to where the tree was, because I'm generally confident shooting up to about 60, 70 metres. Like, I like to know what I'm going to hit, So I started creeping up, and as I was creeping up, he was croaking, but he was chasing something else. Like, he was a man on a mission, so he started moving deeper and deeper into the block. And at that point, I'd stopped by a tree, sitting there for a bit. And, I wasn't rattling or anything like that, but out of nowhere, you just see a little spiker. I think he must have heard me, so he started to creep up towards me. He was pretty curious, so he started walking in closer and closer to me. I reckon he was in about 30 metres or so. Like, he was pretty close, but just how thick that grass was, I just didn't get an opportunity to take a shot. By the time he would have come out, like, he was long gone, right? He was coming towards me, but I just couldn't make out his body, right? You could literally just see his head, it was that thick. And he winded me and he just jetted off. So I tried to walk around that grass patch, just because it's so thick, you just couldn't shoot in there, right? You could literally just see antlers, right? Like, it's just, not the type of place you'd want to be shooting. So tried to walk around and sat down for a bit, because it was this part of the property I hadn't been on before, so like, I was just trying to understand where this creek was the property owner was telling me about. So I was trying to look for the creek, so I kind of stopped for a bit, like looking around, and out of nowhere I seen the outline of a deer in that same grass, but I was on the other side. And I reckon I was looking at that deer for a good minute. He was just sitting there, but he was just, that grass is so thick, you could just make the outline of him. He was staring straight at me, like you could see his antlers. He wasn't massive. I reckon he'd be around that, 2 to 3 years old. Like, didn't have too big of a rack on him, but sat there for a bit, waited, like hoping that he would turn broadside and I'd get the opportunity to take a shot. And he did. He moved out. He turned broadside, but he was still pretty thick in that bush where he was at. But I'm like, oh, look, if I'm ever going to get an opportunity, this is going to be it. I reckon he was at about 40 odd metres or so. So I tried to line him up, no bipod, nothing like that. Took a shot. Missed. Oh, I was devastated, but definitely didn't hear a thud, definitely didn't hit him. I reckon I just shot under him. Like, I did my best to place my shot, but it was just too thick, right? And he's just, as soon as I shot, he's just bolted into the back of that paddock. And at that point, I reckon I've seen another 3 deer, another 3 boys just pop out of nowhere in that thick grass. Antlers up, and all you just see is just these antlers just beeline to the road, right? They were gone, and I'm like, that's it. I've just lost my opportunity for the morning, and walked around the paddocks, like, didn't see anything else. And by that time, it was about maybe 9:30. I was ready to go. I started packing up, so like putting everything in the car. Talked to property, and I'm like, look, no joy for the morning, but I'll come back again tomorrow morning, and literally packed everything up, like zipped up the gun, everything like that. About to start up the ute, and then I heard some more croaking, like literally, I reckon I took a stab maybe 50 metres from where the car was. I'm like, looked at the clock, I'm like, oh, it's 9:30, I'm like, I'd be crazy not to go for a walk in that paddock again, right? So it was super close to where the car was, like grabbed the gun again, nothing else, literally just the gun and the set of antlers, and went in that paddock, started sneaking up. So same thing, it's a very thick block, like, you're moving through scrub just to get to the open paddocks, and started creeping into where I heard the croaking, and as I got to where I thought the croaking was, it all just stopped, like it all just shut down. I just started, set up behind a bush, set up the tripod. I did have the tripod, so the tripod, the set of antlers and the gun, that's all I had, and set up behind the tree, and just started rattling. And I did hear some croaking, but it was in the distance, and I think it was different to the croaking I heard. It was in another part of the block where I did see a few scrapes, but started rattling for a while, sat there for good 5 minutes, just absolutely nothing. Like just waiting. And I reckon I was maybe a good 10 minutes, like rattling on and off, like absolutely nothing. And to the point where I'm like, all right, look, it's getting later. Like, I'll just pack it up. Like, at least I had a crack, Not kicking myself because I didn't have a crack. So just as I put the rifle down, about to fold up the tripod, I just see this beautiful fallow buck, curious, popping his head around. I see the antlers, just starts creeping up towards where I am. But he wasn't going to where I was going. Like you could tell he must have heard the rattling, so he was curious. He was coming over to something, but he wasn't directly walking over to where I was. I reckon he was walking his path. I reckon he was walking maybe 30 metres off to my left where I was. So I was set up with a tripod, everything like that. And he just started coming in pretty slow, pretty curious, and I managed to intercept him. So I shot him freehand. So I reckon I would have shot him at about 30 metres, like couldn't ask for a better shot. He was walking, but he was still broadside, and he was walking pretty slow, and took the shot, not knowing how big he was. Like he was, took the shot, like you could not have asked for a better shot, like right behind the shoulder, like went straight through his vitals, everything. Like he just dropped on the spot, and it was a pretty exciting moment. I was shaking. I don't know. My first instinct was to FaceTime Matt. Because we were talking about it, was it the night before or that morning? You're like, just send me pictures, let me know how you go. I'm like, I'm just going to FaceTime you. I was just like, literally took the shot, like start walking over, and I'm like on the blower. I'm like trying to get reception to FaceTime you. But he dropped on the spot. Beautiful. Like he has a decent, like I sent you pictures of him.
Yeah.
Like he had a decent set of antlers on him, and I dropped on the spot. Took his legs. I did ruin one shoulder, which was a bit of a shame, but so I took one shoulder because the other was a bit mangled. Took the back legs, took the back straps, and the rest is history. So I was just stoked, and property owner's super happy because they're running absolute muck on this property. Like they're keeping them up, coming out in their pajamas, and
I didn't know about that first part. That's funny as.
Yeah, but mate, just so exciting. That was literally yesterday, and here we are again now.
Now we're going.
Yeah, it's 4:50 p.m. We're heading down for trying to get there just before sunset, and going to try those paddocks again and
give a rattle. And so I'm more excited because you were saying you get there and you can hear them fighting and rattling.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. So yeah, like get there yesterday morning, and that's all you can hear. You hear all the boys croaking, and you can just hear the fight, like hear the rattling stuff. And there's some big boys about.
I'm dying to hear that. That's one thing I haven't had. Like I've seen it on YouTube and whatnot, and Insta and all that, but never been in a state forest. I've heard the croaking, chased them like crow camp. We chased in on 4 or 5 boys, but no fighting. Never heard it. So I'm absolutely dying to see that. And there's a couple of big boys. I'm dying to try and rattle one in and see you get one. Just get a cracker.
Well, I sort of like so I got a set of antlers, and I'll try and rattle him in. So I'm like just banging these things together like crazy, whacking, like scraping it together and stuff like that, trying to imitate like what I think they would sound like, right? But you hear them, and they're pretty close. Like they're 30, 40 meters away, right? And it's not that loud. Like they're not like clashing as hard as you think, right? You obviously hear them like biting up towards and twisting and stuff like that. It's more of like a scraping sound. It's a weird sound, but it's a pretty exciting sound. But if you didn't know what it was, right, you were walking in the bush in the pitch black, right, you'd be a bit nervous, something out of a horror film, right? But I'm so excited to be heading back down there right now, So, such an exciting time of the year, though.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Absolute best. We've just come back from crow camp. I didn't even get eyes on any bucks, so I just want to hear them fighting. More croaks, fighting, and I can't wait. So it's all. So yeah, we're on. Hopefully we'll get there with a lot of light left, probably an hour, I reckon.
I reckon we'll get there just on time,
I reckon a good hour of light.
Just on sunset, an hour, and we'll just hopefully, because I haven't been down here at night, so hopefully they're still firing up for night.
Well, that'd be good intel anyway.
Yeah.
So to hear, well, you know what it's like yesterday morning, compare it to this afternoon.
Yeah.
And see what the difference is, so you know whether it's better to hit in the morning or in the arvo or whatnot. So,
what I'm really surprised at this year is the limited amount of girls around. Right, like I see last week 3, and I think I've seen a total of maybe not even 3 this weekend. I reckon I've just seen the two girls, but it's just all boys. Like heaps of spikers about, a couple of big boys, and the rest are anywhere in between. But yeah, just all guys around. But they're all scrapping, they're all carrying on. But no idea where the girls are. But similar to what you were saying from Crow Camp, like not many girls around,
I didn't see. Oh, look, I think I saw 3 deer down there, and one couldn't tell you what it was. I think it was a spike. Tony said he's pretty confident it was a spike. I saw it with him. There was the spike or the button buck that I shot, and then I saw another doe just on her own, which was sort of weird again. She was just on her own in another spot, nothing around her, no croaking, no anything. So, but out of the 10 deer that we took at Crow Camp, there was only one girl. The rest were all 2 bucks and, what was it, 2 bucks and 7 spikers and 1 girl.
We were talking about that on the way down. Like, what's your thoughts on the girls not being around?
I don't know, because we're having a chat about if the boys are on the block here and they're croaking and fighting and whatnot, that they're trying to hold girls. And you did say you saw one holding 3 girls last week, was it?
Yeah, that was last week. But yeah.
So,
but I haven't seen the girls anywhere near the boys. Like they're in the neighbouring paddocks, right? But it's just the...
Yeah, a bit different. Well, we're also talking about the scrapes. The scrapes I found down in at Crow Camp were really... I think there was just so many hunters that we were just pushed off, or they were just pushed off everything. So I know they were just dry. There was no smell, really dry. Whereas you found a couple here and you said they're pretty stinky straight up.
Oh yeah, moment. But in that paddock, that like thick timbered block, I reckon I've seen 4 scrapes, and there was boys at each one of these 4 scrapes. It's weird. It's like it's a big rectangle paddock. They're literally in all 4 corners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just boys are carrying on, and yeah, I'm just hoping get down here today. It's going off.
I felt guilty a bit when I missed your FaceTime. And so I want to be here when you get a bigger one now.
It's your turn, eh?
No, you first. So I'm keen as I want to see this one of the big ones now. Rattle one in and just have you flog him. And upgrade again. So because this one was the buck you got's an upgrade, which is nice. Yeah. Got to be happy about that. Get another one again.
I just think back a year and a half ago when we were out of that property, and then you took that rooster, like the girl, right? That was probably roughly a year and a half ago, right? And you were saying that you hadn't got a deer at that time. I hadn't got a deer, and you were saying to me, people have told you get your first one, and the rest will follow, right?
Just open the floodgates.
Yeah, so like since that point, like you'd have a few down.
A few down in the state forest,
and I've got my count's slowly going up. Yeah, it's been pretty exciting, and it's been amazing. Having a freezer full.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's been my favourite part about it.
I think the first one is the hardest. I do believe that you're putting everything together, all the little puzzle pieces, and once you've done it, you just start to get more in tune with everything, and just I think it's a confidence thing, bit of luck as well.
For me, it's all luck, right? Because I don't wear no camo. It's 100% luck, mate.
We'll find out tonight. So if we're rattling and they come right in because they can't see me in my camo, I've done well.
That's why I told you to get in on
that's why you got the dark and wearing the black.
They're not going to be able to tell,
They'll get. And then the old freezer full's just a win. What's plans with him? Mince, sausages. What are you doing?
Oh, so actually, we got a new mincer the other day, one of the big electric stainless beasts. So pretty excited to try and make some sausages. Yeah, maybe like I didn't even like all those ones I got before. Like I haven't even had the chance to mince any of it. Like most of the ones I've had, like I've always saved the back straps and just put it straight on the grill with salt and pepper. Like I don't want to waste the back straps, but mostly I've just been doing schnitzels, like slow cooks, like loving my venison ragu. Yeah, it's just next level. Like I could eat that every day, but just been doing a lot of slow cooks with it. So this time I'm pretty excited to maybe experiment a bit more. So maybe do some sausages. Last time I made a lot of jerky. It's always a hit. So I think I'll make a lot more jerky with what I got this year. Yeah, just experiment a bit more. So, but the back straps out of that, boy, they're massive. So the last few deer I got was pretty generous and gave away some of the best cuts. So I think this time I'm just gonna enjoy every little bit of it. So.
Nice. I got, I bought today, I went to Barbecues Galore and grabbed some Misty Gully maple bacon cure.
Ooh.
So that's on the cards. And then I'm trying to track down the ham cure. Because shout out to Dave, who down at Crow Camp, his was unreal. Mate, he gave us two things. He gave us his venison ham, which was absolutely beautiful. And then he also gave us his what was it? Venison liver pate, which was unreal as well. So he's inspired me to have a crack at the ham and some bacon. I went and bought that. I'll track down the ham one, but.
Is it to make the ham? Is it a long process, from your understanding?
I don't think so. I think you just brine it. I'm going to find out. I'll probably hit him up, but pretty sure you just brine it and then I'll smoke it. I've got the smoker there, so just smoke it in that and she should be good. So I'll save you some. We'll knock it out and give it a go. But I'm excited for that. And then the wife's doing Swedish meatballs. So it's unreal. So she usually does it with beef and pork.
Is that
mince?
IKEA inspired? Don't they do that?
I think so.
On your way out, you always get the meatball, the cheap hot dogs.
Mate, it is delicious. Whatever she does is so good. The sauce is unreal. So she's wanting to have a crack with the venison. So I said, yep, good. We got plenty from the little button buck that I shot down at Crow Camp, so I'll bring him home. He's in the fridge at the moment, so we'll probably mince him up in the next day or two, and happy days.
Did you manage to get a lot of meat off?
Yeah, I did. Both shoulders, both back legs, and back straps. So pretty happy. I did a little.
Did you do the ribs or anything, or you just did gutless and?
No, look, I was going to. I trimmed a little bit of the ribs off, like just the meat in between. I was pretty lucky. I shot him from 130 metres from the car, so it wasn't too far. So I literally was able to, I just unzipped him, dropped out the guts, had to go back and get my bloody knives and that from Frodo, and then got back up there, cut him up. I took one shoulder whole, and then the other shoulder I just trimmed out, I just boned out on the spot. And a lot of that I'm going to turn into just either mince or sausages or something like that. So I did take a little bit of the ribs out where I could. A little bit of damage with the shots, but what I could, salvage I did. But yeah, looking forward to throwing them through the mincer and having a bit of a play with that. That'll be good.
I was surprised how little meat's in the ribs, but
it's not much.
They're delicious though, right?
They are.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to cook them and that, but like beautiful flavour. How did the other guys go down to Crow Camp? They managed to bring a lot of meat back. I know you mentioned
we had heaps.
A few deer were down, and
so out of the 10 deer, most of everybody got a lot of meat out of it. Yeah, there was just meat. Everyone had meat everywhere. It was great.
Was any cooked or consumed?
Yeah, we cooked. Yeah? Cooked a few up.
Did you do anything special when you're down there, or just grill them up?
I think Dave's a bit of a, goes all out with the cooking. He does a fantastic job. So he marinated some and put them on kebabs and did them over the fire, which was awesome. Then what else? I think someone just backstrapped up straight away. So yeah, it was just over the fire, just getting through it. I didn't. I took that much food away. I just didn't even get a chance to actually... It sounds funny, but I had that much food that I was going through, I didn't even worry about it. So I'd literally just put... I did work out, and I'm driving down today for this reason. I've got the double fridge freezer in the back, and I've got the freezer with the water bottles. They were gold, so I literally just put everything straight into where they are, put the bottles on top, and they cooled down everything instantly. It was great.
I took that hint from you, the frozen water bottles. They're unreal, eh?
Oh, it's
they're
easy.
just, especially if the Eski's full of them, right? They're just, they don't unfreeze.
Well, the fridge is even better because it's already... So I run one side, the freezer side, I'm running at -3. And with a dual battery, it's beautiful. Just keeps it cold while you drive. Happy days. That whole time I was away at Croak Camp, I think the most it dropped down to was like 80% of the battery for a 120 amp. So plenty in the reserve tank for it. And they were all full frozen to the point that I put the venison in there and that it froze, which was nice. So I know it cooled down right quick and snap frozen straight away. So I pulled it out. It's in the fridge now. So I'll let it rest up and happy days. But super easy. And then if you want to take it out whole, I've got the fish bags. So, you know, the ones like little foldable, portable esky.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got 6 water bottles, so you could throw it in there, throw the water bottles in there to cool it down. Happy days.
That'd be good to bring, because just the space saving, right? Like
It's brilliant.
Yeah, rather than... You've seen my Esky, you could fit 50 bodies in that thing.
Yeah.
But it's a tank, right? It takes up pretty much the whole U tray, right? But it's good, like when you...
Well, I've got the
Not a big trip,
165 litre Yeti.
Yeah.
It's huge, but it just takes up way too much room. So I think I'm going to sell it, to be honest. I was keeping it going and taking it away with just fill of ice, so, get something and just throw it straight in, which is handy too, but it just takes up so much room. If you've got the room, no big deal, but not having it, it just doesn't make sense to run it. And, I don't foresee... I think it's just easy for carry-outs to chop it up. So whether it be quarter it out, boned out. I boned a lot of mine out on the spot when I took the little button buck because it was early. It was like 3 degrees, so it was nice and easy. Just chop it up, throw it on the ground. I had a little mesh ground mat sort of thing. And what I did notice is as soon as I cut that up with the cool air, I just put them straight in there, folded it over so no wasps. There's a million wasps down the Snowies at the moment. It's unreal. And they just attack the meat like crazy. So I just folded it over so it was protected, no flies, no anything on it. And then by the time I grabbed it, it was cold. So by the time I finished chopping everything up and put it on that, it was cold and then just went straight into the Esky. I didn't even have to wait to or crack a lid. I just put it straight in and shut it because it was, I had no issues with the heat.
It makes it hard this time of year, right? Like it's the perfect time to be chasing deer, right? But it's just hot days, right? Even today, it's like, 28 degrees.
When we left, it was 29.
Okay, Camden, mate,
So,
right?
yeah. So it's 23 now, so it's cooled down a bit, but it's still quite warm.
Yesterday, I was surprised there was no flies about, thankfully, when I was butchering up the deer. So, but we had trouble, was it November when we come down to this property last, right? And took that small deer.
Yep, you spiked.
That was so hot that day.
Yeah.
I swear it was 30 by 8 a.m. We were sweating, It was hot. You were sweating.
Oh, here we go. Yes,
Yeah.
I almost forgot. You almost got off the hook and it didn't
No,
get
I know, in
recorded.
fairness.
You know where
how
we're
many
going.
times did I offer and you said, don't worry about it, Dan. I'll carry it out this way. I don't have to do cardio later today. And I said, suit yourself.
In fairness, that did happen, but
You regretted that.
no, it was a good carrier. So we were a mile from the bloody car. We chopped him up, put it in the game bags, and I threw him over the shoulder, and somehow it managed that you had, I think, the backstrap, and I had the 3 legs.
Just carry my
Or 4
wallet,
legs.
and phone. That's all I was carrying.
I was
No, I'm
carrying-
pretty sure I just literally had the back straps and then
That was it.
my gun on my shoulder. That was it. But
That was it. And
no,
then
you were
I
just,
had my gun. I had my gun. All the
you just wanted to beast mode it.
I
And then
just
you
carried it all the way out.
regretted that, didn't you?
Nah, look, it was. I did say I didn't need to hit the gym or do some cardio that day, so it wasn't too bad. It was good exercise.
Yeah.
It must be what people take me for. I guess on the pack horse, I had to help drag Frodo's buck out through the about 300 metres from State Forest. So then, I will say this: I don't know how people do it without doing any training or fitness, and then having to carry out with no sort of base level fitness.
Oh, I'm like a couch potato, mate. I was dying yesterday, but it's quite funny. Like, so I cut it up and obviously got in the ute and everything like that. And I went up to the property to talk to the owners and stuff like that. Showed them the rack because I had it in the back of the ute tray and that. The rest was in the esky, and I was just dripping sweat. And like, it just blew their mind. They're like, "But how did you get that whole deer from, like, it was probably good like 600-700 meters away from where the house was, right, to where we were? It's like, how did you even carry that out by yourself? Like, how did you do it?" I'm like, by the time we put your house, not too bad, right? But I was dying on the inside, right? I was still sore from it. So, but they're not small beasts, some of them, eh?
I can't imagine a Samba carrier.
Ugh.
Like, I think, that day that was hot. Carrying the whole fallow out was hot and hard. And then I sit there and go, the bloke's slogging it out in the Vic High Country with Samba, which are a lot bigger than a fallow. Man, like, you can't just do that with no base fitness, eh?
Yeah.
Like, that would just be death.
I think I need a bit more gear to be butchering in the forest, right? So just got the basics, right? But like we're talking about the.
You don't have the basics. You don't have
No, it's
camo.
all right. No, wait, I do have binos now, though.
Oh,
I got binos last week because you're making fun of me of that too, right? Like, there's been a few times we've gone out and I'm like squinting, like looking across the field. I'm like, what's that? And you're like, where's your binos? Like, remember that first time? You're like, oh, grab your binos. I'm like, oh, my what? And just you're surprised. You don't have binos or camo? But,
Oh, the private
Right.
land hunter, eh? He's
well, we still haven't hunted in State Forest together yet.
no, we'll tee it up. You couldn't make crow camp, so
Yeah.
we'll get down there eventually. But
It's too embarrassed. I'd have to change my whole wardrobe, mate, if I went down there.
oh, mate, I think the deer down there are a little bit different to the deer on a private property.
You know what? I'm gonna wear high vis next time we go out. If I can get a deer on the ground, that'll be
In
it.
high vis,
High vis.
just the work shirt with the reflective silver tape.
Oh, but then in fact, last week I forgot my Merrells, my boots, and then all I had was my work boots, but they've got all the reflective tape all over them, and I was rocking that. Like, but the sun hit them a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" Like, it was, yeah. But you think like back in the day, like when even you talk to some of the old timers that hunt, right? They were just wearing flannels, blue jeans, smoking darts, like.
I think it's horses for courses. If you're on a property that's game rich and doesn't have much hunting pressure, you don't really need a heap of camo and all that. But I feel if you're down hunting a highly pressured state forest, you need every single advantage that you can access to make your life easier and swing the odds in your favour a little bit more. I think that's the big difference.
I'll agree with that. You're slowly rubbing off on me. I'm starting to buy some of the gear. In fairness, all right?
Suppliers are going to love you.
Starting to buy game coolers and
Yeah, I got your crow
tripods
cooler,
and-
croaker from H2K.
got some binos now. Like,
Ooh.
slowly, mate. So
It's all happening. It's part of the fun of it too. Going through your gear, fixing different things, playing around. That's part of the joy of hunting as well. So it's one of those things. I'm in the process. I think this will be the last hunt before I have to change the scope over. I didn't tell you my scope. One of the turrets broke, so it's just wobbly and hanging off a little bit. So I'm a big fan of the Zerotech scope, and it's got the lifetime warranty. So I'll let you know how I go, but I'll be taking that back to Abellas and getting them to change it over and see how we go in the whole process. But I was there a bit earlier today getting some ammo and had a quick chat with them. It was yesterday actually. Had a quick chat with them, and there doesn't seem to be an issue. That'll be a pretty straightforward swap over, I'd say. So I'll go in during the week and get that sorted, and I'll let everyone know on the podcast how simple or difficult that process is, getting a warranty claim on the Zerotech. But not sure how I did it. Didn't drop the rifle, but like, it's not impacting the scope. It's just the illuminator side of it. Just on the left-hand side of the parallax adjustment is, it's just come a bit loose, sort of popped out and is wiggly. So, these things happen. But I've been really happy with the scope so far. The visibility on last light is really good. So the amount of light it's letting in, and
because you were struggling with that last time, weren't you?
With the 243, just terrible. So when that sun goes down, that light can really make or break that last half an hour. And the Zerotech Thrive HD I've got is really good. I'm happy with it. My other scope, terrible. Could not see. Like, I can see for a good extra half an hour now, and that makes a big difference. So we'll find out tonight too.
Well, we'll probably have an hour of light, then fire up the old thermite.
Get the thermite, have a look around.
Lots of foxes around at the moment too, so I think
I brought the 22 and the 243, so we can chase some deer, and when that goes quiet, we can then go chase some foxes. Do a bit of both. So why not? Let's make the most of the night.
Is this your you think your last hunt for the rut this year?
I think so. I think I'm done. I was supposed to go away. That sort of didn't come about, and then with everything going on with the mother-in-law, hasn't got long left with her battle with cancer, so only a couple of months. So I've been very blessed that I could get out. The wifey's been really good, so I think this will be it. I'm not complaining. I had a great time at Croak Camp. A lot of good blokes down there, and chasing croaks is just so much fun. And then I just want to hear some more tonight, and I'll be happy with that. That's for sure.
Be a good way to see out the rut this year, right?
Well, look, if we can see some boys fighting, see some boys croaking, I'll be happy. Because that's one thing that's still in the state forest, chasing in on them. I haven't had the chance just to watch it, and observe it. And I think that's what I've learnt a bit now, is that if you're in a good wind and you don't have to rush things, just take your time and watch and learn. It's not a bad little habit to get in, which I haven't had that chance in the state forest yet, because they're either croaking in the thickest crap in the world, and then they dart past you and you get a glimpse. I know Rob had that from Athena Spatial, and we're going to do an episode and we'll hear all about that, because that was the first time he's chased in on a croak as well. So that was cool to be a part of that with him. But yeah, he got to see the buck. I really didn't. So I haven't got to see one croaking this year other than the deer farms up the road. But the kids will love it. Geez, the kids are funny. So I've got the twins and the eldest all now make deer sounds. So they're all doing their best to croak. It's so cute. And they're at me, like literally every time we get in the car, can we go look at deer? So they're all in. They're loving it. They're super excited to come hunting. They're all trying to convince me that they're old enough and big enough to come hunting now. We've got to work on how quiet they are, because they're definitely not quiet little humans. But they're... But yeah, them wanting to watch the deer, hear the deer croak, them croak with them, and the oldest now knows the difference between fallow deer croaking and a red deer roaring, which is pretty cool too. Awesome. Watching him learn and listen, so that's pretty awesome.
Well, I was just talking about croaking, so because I shoot between two properties, right? So both property owners didn't actually know what was making those croaking sounds. Like, obviously they know there's deer in the block, but they've never actually seen a deer croak. And it wasn't until recently they realised that was actual, it was a rather deer croak. Right? It doesn't happen all year round, right? They assumed it was another animal. Like, one of the owners thought maybe it was like pigs grunting or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And it's such
It's a unique sound.
Oh, yeah. Like, you try and mimic it, it's pretty hard to mimic, right? I just sound like a frog or something. I don't know. But you just try to explain it to people and you can't. But, like, I think I sent you a video last week of the croaking. I can't remember last week or this week about one of the deer croaking, right? It was just hiding behind a tree, right? It's just, it's an awesome sound.
Oh, it's a cool sound.
And just like, it just gets you excited.
Yeah, it's a very cool sound.
Yeah.
So I'm loving. It's just good. Again, best time of year. Just even if you're not shooting something, getting out, hearing them, chasing them, just adds to the level of excitement and anticipation of it. And as I said to you when we're driving down here, it's like, let's record because I'm amped up. I'm ready to go. I'm just keen to hear some croaking again.
Oh, mate, so excited.
I got back from Croak Keep Go. I want to hear more. So it's I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully those two big boys are about, mate. So hopefully you hear some croaking and see some monsters. So.
If we tick the box for some fighting and even getting to see some, that'll be a ripper of a year. So looking forward to it. So, all right, well, we're getting close now, so we might need to start talking about strategy and whatnot, but this could be the end of the episode, or we might do one on the way home, depending how it all plays out.
See how it plays out. But
see
it's
what
always
happens.
good to chat, man.
So, well, mate, appreciate it. Well done again on your buck, and who knows, we could have a bigger one in the next hour or so and be recording in a couple of hours' time.
If not, we'll be celebrating over some beers and some backstrap, mate, next week at some point, mate. So,
happy days. So.
Okay, you've just heard the drive down to the hunt. Now, listen to what happened during the hunt.
Well, that was an eventful night.
Driving back home now, but definitely was.
Well, let's get into it. Not as many croaks as I originally thought. I thought there'd be a lot more going on, but we didn't really hear much at all to start with. But got to a good position, a lot of scrapes, a lot of rubs. You could tell it's a really good area. You'd already scouted it and said it was a good area. Found a spot, it was getting dark, and I got the rattles out. I said, I want to rattle something in. And I said, you've got first shot. Started my rattling. I must sound like a deer because
Something worked.
Spiker, straight up. He literally was 15 minutes from us. 15 minutes. 15 metres. You didn't see him because I don't think you could.
Oh, it's still, right on dark, right? But still enough light. Shooting light. But I reckon he was better down.
He was. And he jumped up, not like spooked, like curious. He came over and he's looking at us, and I whispered to you, mate, you're 12 o'clock. You've got, there's a spiker there, have a crack. You saw him.
Couldn't have asked for a better shot, though, in fairness. But lined him up in the crosshairs, but pulled the trigger. But unfortunately, I either shot under or over him.
Nah, you went under.
Yeah.
He,
I was pretty devastated about that.
Hey, two things here. We had a quick debrief on it out there, and I said, where did you aim? And I really feel at 15 metres, you were aiming way too high, and it's just gone straight under him. He hopped off, took off, not as fast as I thought, but I don't think he realised what had gone on, to be honest. I think he was still trying to work out, holy crap, there was rattling, and then a big bang, and then he moved on.
See, that's what threw me, because he did pause for a bit, right? Like, even when he jetted off up that hill, he even stopped for a while and he looked back, right? But he was starting to slow down. I heard some crashing in the bushes, so I thought I still stumped him, but yeah.
Yeah, well, look, we grabbed the thermal and looked for blood, and there was absolutely nothing around. And it's a cold night, so we would have picked it up very easily. I mean, it was picking little bugs up. So the thermal was on point there, but no go.
So I didn't feel so bad. I'd rather know I didn't hit him rather than know I hit him but we didn't find him. So
Yeah, I'd agree. You're better off missing clean than wounding and not recovering. So I'm with you there. No big deal. Everyone misses 15 metres. I reckon it was harder at that thing. I actually laughed because I brought the bow and I said, I wish if I would have had the bow there, that would have been absolutely perfect range to take him with the bow. It's probably easier with the bow at that range than the gun. But these things happen. No big deal. But
how was that spot where we were sitting when we were rattling? Like, how much sign was there, eh?
Unreal. There's just smashed trees everywhere in there. We saw a couple others lurking about, but nothing.
We saw that with the thermal, right? Like when we were looking for to see if there was any blood. It wasn't long after that we saw the buck in the thermal. He was pretty far out, one of the paddocks, but
yeah. So there was the buck there. We checked him out, and he was just sort of cruising, doing his thing.
he was not interested in the rattle.
He was not interested in the rattle and the croaking, so we just let him be. The wind was not great. Saw another doe, and then we moved up to a different paddock. The goal was to knock something over for the farmer, so we did have the thermal out, full disclosure. So we wandered up, went for a pretty big walk, and there wasn't much. We saw a couple of deer in the first paddock. They spooked and ran. Remember those two does?
We saw the two does, but we also seen that one we were trying to stalk up on, that lone doe that we were trying to chase around, but the grass was pretty high, right?
It's a limitation to the thermal is that obviously if there's thick stuff, they get in behind it, you can't see them. So that was all right. And then we got to those two does. They spooked, took off. They were just sort of too far out because the thermal, we only got a thermal spotter and we had just red torches. So they were too far. It wasn't a comfortable or confident shot, so we let them be and went for a pretty long walk. Didn't see much at all on the walk.
Oh, it was pretty quiet, didn't even... Oh, you thought you saw a couple of foxes with the thermal, but...
They were a long way off, though, too. There was nothing really close, except roos, a million roos. And then we decided let's go for a wander back, and I think at this stage there started to be some croaking. And then we saw those two does, or what we perceived to be the same two does that we chased in the same paddock. So we made a bit of a beeline for them down in the corner and just couldn't really get into a good position to give them a crack. They were a bit skittish.
The wind was not in our favour, though.
It wasn't.
Not for that paddock.
The light didn't help either. Like they just seemed to be on the edge of the light, not being able to see them properly through the scope. So I didn't want to take a shot at them. And you'd passed over the shooting to me for the evening. And then I think we were there chasing them for a bit. And
well, they were on the one side of the dam, weren't they? There was the two of them, right? And they were just quite happy doing their thing, but they were slowly moving further and further away. And I said to you, there was a few other does on the other side of the dam.
Yeah.
Near that one tree. But like with the thermal, like if we had looked across to the left of them, there was that big tree. So there was, pretty sure there's a big boy just hanging there by himself.
Well, we heard croaking. And he said, I think it's from there. And we had a squeeze. Found him, or what we perceived to be him. And he went from that tree that you sort of thought he was on to... well, he went well and truly left. Probably a good 150 metres and bedded down. Realistically, that's where we sort of had a look at him and said, all right, he looks pretty comfy and bedded down there. And there just happened to be a couple of holding yards. And I said, if we can sneak up, the wind's not in our favour, but if we can sneak into that and then keep going, we might just get a chance to get over there. And we were lucky enough that we snuck in, got there, and he really wasn't phased too much by us. He was locked on.
Oh, he's watching us the whole time. And I was looking through the thermal, but...
Now, the good thing is we had, what do you call it? We had a full moon. You could see everything pretty clearly. I could see him comfortably where he was, standing between the two trees. It was pretty easy for that. I snuck in on him. I saw him start to go, and he moved to the right. I threw on the spotlight, lined him up, gave a bit of a whistle. He stopped, pulled him up, and then bang, dropped him on the spot. That about, 80?
Yeah, I reckon about 80 metres, just roughly. Yeah.
Somewhere there. So put him down, he dropped straight away, and then our evening started. So we dragged him out, and I'll tell you what, we tried something I haven't had the chance to yet. I've used it at home, but I haven't used it in the field. The lift and lock.
We were talking about it the whole way down, eh?
What a dream.
So I need to get one, but yeah.
Mate, what a dream. How good was that? We just threw a ratchet strap over a branch, hooked up the lift and lock, put the gambrel through him, and just pulled him straight up. One person.
Yeah, just effortless.
Lifted him up. It locks as you lift, and then at the end you pull it high so it adjusts the strap and just drops him straight down. Super simple. Made life very, very easy. He was stinky as, and we were able to skin him while he was hanging, and happy days. And then we went to work chopping him up, taking out the legs and the back straps, and the shoulders looked pretty manky, so we left them alone and just basically took everything out of the hind legs and the back straps and as much as we could, and got the job done, and now we're on the way home.
But even at that point when we're walking back to the car to get the was it the lift and lock? Is that what you call it? The ratchet system?
Yeah.
Oh, there was still some croaking going on.
Yeah, there's heaps.
They were quite close too at that point, but definitely a lot to hear about.
Well, I mean, it's midnight now, and we're driving home, so I sort of glad we didn't try and shoot.
I think it's going to be a very long night if we were to.
Yeah. So I did say before I pulled the trigger, I had mixed emotions going, do I want the first buck to be
I don't think you were going to do it, to be honest.
Well,
when we were walking over, that's the comment you said to me. You look back as we were stalking it, you said, I don't know if I want my first buck to be on the spotlight.
Yeah, I had mixed emotions. I don't really know if I count that as one like a hunting. That's more shooting. We were there to, get something for the property owners because they're pretty annoyed at the deer, to say the least. So I know you said that they'll be pretty happy, especially with one of the bucks that's croaking, keeping them awake.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the problem ones, all right? It's right up near the house as well. So
yeah, I think
it's a win for the farmer. But.
Yeah. Oh, look, the meat's fantastic. Am I saying it's a complete hunt or a trophy? No. That's not how I sort of view it, but look, it is what it is. You've got to keep the property owners happy. He was there, and it wasn't as if we targeted a doe or a buck. We went after a couple of the does, and it just didn't work out. He was the one we went after, and he presented.
What if we were there a little bit earlier and we were on last light, so it wasn't on the spotlight? Would it be different, you think? Is it literally just the spotlight? So I feel like we had to stalk him. The wind wasn't in our favour. We're trying to rattle him.
Yeah,
to me, it's still hunting.
Look, I feel it is because we had to sneak in on him, our position. He still busted us and moved. he was out in the open in a paddock. Would he have been there normally? That's the only thing. I feel that he might not have been out in the open like he was, or better down in the open where he was. So I'm not. That's where I sort of say I don't think it is completely. I can't claim that as a trophy in my mind. Again, happy to take him. Happy to take it for the meat. We got a lot of high quality meat off him. I'm super happy about that. So it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do.
I'm still happy for you.
Oh, look, hey, another deer on the deck.
Good memory.
Another memory. A good laugh. We had a good time. It was a beautiful night. We were walking around under the moon, going, "This is amazing." If we don't get it, I think we said if we don't get a deer, it's no big deal. What a cracking opportunity! Like just bringing someone, rattling that fella in. That was a win. And then we ended up getting a deer on the deck. So
Some meat for the freezer, so it's a win-win.
mate, I know to twist the wife's arm to get out tonight, so I feel so much better going back with some meat and saying, well, it was definitely worth it. And we got some good chunks too. I was looking at it as we cut them up and putting them on the drop sheet so they cooled down. And I was looking at them going, oh, there's some nice big chunks there. I'm going to turn that one into a ham. I'm going to do... I started thinking about what I was doing with what. So, yeah, no, ripper. I'm super happy. Like, at the end of the day, hunting's great. I love it. We did a hunt. We missed. We still had a job to do for the property owner. We were under no illusions that was going to happen. Got the thermal out. Still had to go through the process of locating them, sneaking in, shooting. Got it done. You're going to be in the good books with the landowner, and we get meat. I mean, it's a win-win. So, yeah, who needs sleep?
You won't be saying that tomorrow, though, mate. You
Mate, I'll be buggered tomorrow, but that's all good. We're a good long drive home. It'll be a bit of a late one into the early hours, but it's a win. We got meat and happy days.
Well, potentially it's your last hunt for this run, right? So
Probably.
at least you went out with a bang. So
Well,
buck down.
2 deer in the freezer.
Yeah.
Well, 1.5, but it's a win. It's a big win. So, but plenty of deer about on the way out. We saw a couple of bucks running around, a doe.
Even immediately as we pulled out of the driveway,
Yeah.
there was a couple passing through, going between the two properties. But you saw that big buck on the way out.
Yeah,
missed
he was-
that.
yeah,
Your
he
eyes
was
are a lot
huge.
better than mine are.
Yeah, I feel the buck we took is probably a cull anyway. He's not a bad one, but he's not a great spread. It was a bit uneven. But compared to that one on the way out, I was just like, wow, he looked very symmetrical and nice. Happy days. Appreciate you taking us out and
Till next time, mate. Can't
stock
wait
in the
to
freezer.
head back out there with you
So what a win.
for this second run, mate.
The second
Talking
rut.
about- Yeah. It'll work out the timing.
Second rut.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the first because obviously they probably knocked up a heap of girls, but the ones they haven't will cycle again and we'll have a bit of a second attempt at some of them. So that is exciting and I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
So we'll have to plan it and get out and chase them again.
I'll tell you what, that was very different hunting that property at night, though, versus the other morning. Yeah. The deer
So
is so much more
action
active,
in the morning?
yeah, but
Yeah.
definitely seen a lot more girls tonight, though.
Well, you said you didn't see any girls last time, did you?
No, still boys. Yeah.
And then tonight there was girls everywhere. So we just couldn't get close enough to take one. Is what it is. So, there's the first buck, if it counts, but
100% it counts.
I don't know yet. I'll reflect on it in the morning when I'm not
When you're eating it.
when I'm eating it. Yeah, I'm slicing up and making sure, but we'll see how that one goes. All right. Well, it's been a eventful afternoon / night, and I am absolutely buggered. We are on the way home, and I think that's probably a good way to wrap her up tonight. So we've got meat. I think that was the first episode we.
When you were the first one, we got meat.
Yeah, we got meat. Well, we've got meat again, so everyone's happy. All right, listeners. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Australian Hunting and Beyond podcast with Matt. Thanks for tuning in and can't wait to catch you next time. But in the meantime, if you want more, you can find it at linktr.ee/Australian Hunting and Beyond. That will give you our YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. We'll catch you next time.